This week we're heading over the sea to Orkney, so come with us as we show you some of the sights of these amazing islands. It's one of our favourite places in the whole world. Hopefully we can show you why. We are at the ferry port with about an hour to spare. You don't realise how big those blades for the wind turbines are till you're close to them. Those are massive. DeNiro and I are going for a wee walk out to the lighthouse. I'm glad we weren't stuck behind those coming up the road. Flap, 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 flap. You'll notice that DeNiro is more interested in seeing the lighthouse than Bex is. Bex is continuing her crochet projects. Judging by the colours of the wool that she's using, I think Bex has got 3 projects on the go at the same time, which is industrious, if nothing else. That is Holborn Head Lighthouse. Holborn is from Norse, it means hill fort, so Hill Fort Head Lighthouse. And that bit that it's built into was the assistant keeper's cottage, and that was the head keeper's cottage. And if you're wondering how I know that, I read it on that sign. And here comes the trusty ship that's going to take us across to Orkney with its big, scary, hairy Viking on the side for ladies that like big, scary, hairy Vikings. Or men that like big, hairy. Anyway, there's a Viking on the side. I'm gibbering again, I'll shut up. This would be more interesting if that green shed wasn't in the way, but hey-ho, there it is. There is the Hamnavo that plies its trade between here and Orkney 3 times a day. Oh, that's quite almost an arty shot of the Hamnavo between the blades of the wind turbine. Well, I like it. I'm easy pleased though, as you've probably noticed. I don't know who was most excited. Actually, that's not true. I know who was most excited. Me! We are on the ferry and now we're going to go for a look upstairs. Spend a lot of time in these videos following Bex's lovely Roku bag about the place. Hello Roku bag. It's a little bit different to the old Waverley. It's quite nice, this boat. I have spent many hours on it in my younger days when I was working on Orkney, so it's good to be back. Good that she's still afloat, which is better than the alternative. Do you want to buy some jewellery? No, Bex doesn't want to buy some jewellery. She wants to find the coffee shop, because it's been a couple of hours since the last coffee and they might have scones. Scones, they might have scones. It's quite a wide and varied selection of stuff. Are you going to get some lunch? Alright. Let's go and get some lunch. Again, it is quite a nice place. I do like this boat. Oh well, that'll be Bex happy. We're listening carefully to the safety announcement, which is quite loud. We're just sitting watching some people who are filming, I guess, a YouTube video, and they've got matching t-shirts. We are woefully uncoordinated. Watching us, watching you. So it is goodbye at the Scottish mainland, which is over there, and a long overdue hello again to the Orkney mainland, which is over there. On a day like this, there's always something quite sort of therapeutic about a ship's wake. Bex is going to do a crochet all over the world vlog, because that is a happy face of somebody who is sitting crocheting in a setting like that. So she was crocheting on the Waverley the other day, if you saw last week's episode, and today she is crocheting all the way to Orkney.
I think out of all the places in the world, on this kind of beautiful sunny day, this has to be the best place to crochet so far.
And she's sitting there doing roseware needles, working hard.
You're just winding me up now, because you know it's crochet hooks and knitting needles.
And knitting rows and crochet rounds.
I'm going to move from crocheting cardigans to knitted socks soon, so just to spice it up a bit.
Oh dear, that's my Christmas sorted then. I still think we should be putting some of these on our Etsy shop. I mostly think that because our house is now full of crocheted items, and the van is trembling at crochet seat covers and a crochet steering wheel cover. And
you can never have too much crochet in your life.
DeNiro would like some crocheted ear warmers.
Okay, I'll get onto those next.
So while Bex is doing her crochet, which can never be disturbed, why don't we go for a wee explore of the Hamnavo? That's a big yellow dot. That's very interesting. There. Oops. Almost lost my door there. Right, let's try that again. On you go.
Thank you.
No worries. The bar's not very busy yet. Let's go and see what we can see. There is a gift shop somewhere. Bex has ordered me to go to the gift shop and buy her she hasn't actually ordered me to do anything, but there is a wee loungy bit you can sit in, and there's a door, and there's a sign, and there's a window, and yeah, this is scintillating. That's the doggy lounge. That's got no doggies in it. That's also outside deck bit. Right, let's go along here. That is the restaurant and the cafe that you've seen. That's the posh sort of VIP bar that you can pay to get into. And this is all getting done in one take. Are you awfully impressed? And there's me. Hello! Let's go down here and see what we can see. This is one of the sort of famous local businesses, local companies, is a jeweller called Sheila Fleet, and her stuff is absolutely beautiful. I mean, she is a really, really good jeweller. I tried dabbling in making jewellery out of sea glass and sea pottery, and then I saw her stuff and thought, why do I bother? This is all amazing. Oh wow, look at the wee bee. That's a nice wee bee. I thought the ship was supposed to be quite sort of busy and fully booked, but today it's looking, well, you can see for yourself, it's looking pretty empty. I know it's very busy coming back on Saturday. I think we pretty much got one of the last spots on the last sailing on Saturday to squeeze Daisy in. Lots and lots of tat, sheep and Highland cows, and of course puffins. We are going puffin hunting later this week. I think I might do a spot of shopping. That is the gin that we had with a friend and Bex really liked it, so I think I'll have one of those and surprise her. Let's go and see where it is. They've got Kirkwall, they've got Caithness, Highland, they've got, there it is. That's the one that she wanted. That'll be a pleasant surprise. More of a surprise than a puffin. That'll be me winning Husband of the Year again. Well, I'm the only husband she's got, so if I came second I would be a bit worried. Let's go give Bex her present. Out the door without it blowing out of my hand this time. Yay, that was much safer. Oh, Rebecca, that's how you buy someone a present. You just buy them a present. Look at her wee face. And the good thing about that present is I'll be getting half of it back. Over there, that is the island of Hoy, famous for the Old Man. So that is the coast of Hoy, with the highest vertical sea cliffs in Britain, apparently. And there's the Old Man over there, who we're going to go and have a closer look at some point in the very, very near future. And it's such an amazing sight that Bex has even put her crochet down. Stromness is a town that's not exactly been beaten with the ugly stick. What an amazing wee place, the way the houses all sort of grouped together. And I also love the fact, like over there and over there, houses have got their own individual little jetties down into the sea. That is really cool. Now I better get down before Bex shouts at me, because I'm standing on a chair to clear all the tourists. We are now on Orkney, and this was our parking place for last night. It's a place that I've stopped a few times because it's got facilities that are open 24 hours, which comes in handy, and you've got a view that looks a little bit like that, with blue sky and sunshine, which is all always very welcome. Oh, and there's something else about this place that I've got to show you. Every single YouTube channel has their, oh, this is the best beach in Scotland, and this is one of our votes. This is a beach that is built up behind a man-made barrier between this island and South Ronaldsay over there. But wait till you see this beach. A, it is quite cute. B, it is very big. And C, there is very rarely anybody on it. We arrived here last night, and him down there went down onto the beach, and I thought his head was going to explode. He was properly like greyhound running. He was so cool. And then he got back to the van and could hardly walk. He's not very fit. The way this beach built up is pretty cool. There's a thing up here called the Churchill Barriers that go between the islands to stop enemy submarines getting in during the war, after an enemy submarine got in during the war. And behind this one, and only this one, a massive beach is built up. Now I don't know if this is sitting right in the Gulf Stream or it's just the position of it, but there's a huge, beautiful sandy beach here, and all the other barriers don't have that, so it is unique to this place. It's really cool. It's a totally like man-made artificial ecosystem, just caused by putting a barrier across the middle of the channel. And safe to say, DeNiro loves it, and to be fair, Bex and I love it as well. I've been coming here for years, since I used to work up here. I introduced Bex to Orkney and she's like, oh, when can we go back? And there it is. As you can see, the beach has gone from nothing in 1940 whatever to about 100 metres from the road up there and the causeway down through all these grasslands, which are sort of a significant place for breeding birds and stuff, and then on to miles and miles of sand. So let's go and have a look on the sand and see if DeNiro wants to go for a little bit of early morning exercise. DeNiro, he's off the lead, but he's not noticed yet. DeNiro, go on then. A happy dog and a happy Bex. This is such a cool place. It's a pity that it's really foggy, so you can't really see the full majesty of it, but we're here for a couple of days at this particular part, so we'll show you it without any fog, hopefully. So sorry that wasn't much video, but I've got my trusty old camera out with me today, so I thought I would try and get some full action photos of himself over there, having a wee zoom. I think he's still tired after last night. Last night was the hardest zooming I think we've ever seen him do. Be very quiet, I'm tracking greyhounds. Oh, there he is over there with Bex. I always think this is pretty cool. It's like a Viking totem pole with lots of holes in his face. Either people have been shooting at him or he's got a bad case of sort of wood acne, but yeah, he's really smart. Quite an angry looking gentleman. And with that, it's time to get off the beach and on the bikes. From where we were parked, it's about 10 miles to the very southern tip of South Ronaldsay, so we thought what we were going to do was cycle down there and then cycle back again. But did I mention it was 10 miles? Did I also mention it was very hilly? No, I don't think I did. Well, it is 10 miles and yeah, we both suffered. It was quite hard work. Really pretty ride though, down past the old church and then down past this old farmhouse you see on the right hand side here. This was actually partially renovated. It is now for sale for £125,000. I can't tell you how tempted I was to say, oh, unfortunately I don't have £125,000 lying about, or I would have bought it because it looks absolutely amazing. So, approximately 10 miles and a very sore bottom later, we are in Berwick, or Berwick possibly, one of the two. Anyway, it is the southernmost point on South Ronaldsay, and as you can see it's not a very pretty place. It's got the sea and it's got yeah, lots of concrete sort of shore defences, and there's a nice car park down there and a shed down there for the ferry. So yeah, not the best part, but if you look over there, can you see what I can see? Yes, there's a really nice churchyard that we just cycled past, so we're going to go back there for a wee look. Look at that, stunning Orkney at its finest. I mean, this is just gorgeous. Not very. I'm not actually sure when the ferry runs. There is no timetable and there's no sign of life here, but I think the ferry from here just goes back across to the mainland and we're not ready to go home quite yet. We got here and Bex said, did you see that sign back there? And I was thinking, what sign does she mean? The sign for the Tomb of the Eagles or any of the historic sites? No, a sign that said bistro. Do you think it's open? So we're going to go and see if we can find a bistro that is open. At least it's a bit less misty now, so you do get a nice view of the sea and obviously the coastal defences, and yeah, it's not the prettiest part of the whole island. Look at that lovely PD graveyard. I'm sorry, that what graveyard? Well, that'll be time for our special Orcadian word of the day. It's a nice wee place, isn't it?
It's lovely, yeah.
Yeah, let's go and see if we can see anything interesting. So obviously this will be like local farmers and landowners and tenants and yeah, everybody in the local area. So you'll get everybody from the great and the good at the top of society down to, I guess, the people at the bottom will be in here somewhere as well. And if you look over there, there's a scattering of sort of habitation and houses and farms and stuff that I guess relate to some of the names that we see. You know, it says such and such died at Broch or such and such died at whatever. They've all got their wee farm name written on their tombstone. This one is quite neat. It looks quite old, but it's not actually, in the great scheme of things, that old. 1825 there, so yeah, it's a nice stone, isn't it? Bex has just found one of those ones where they run out of space because people have the nasty habit of dying, and this is erected to the memory of James Rosey. See it, and that says, what does that say? Farmer in Lidl, which must be local, it's not the shop. And his wife Barbara Sinclair, and down the bottom, and their daughter Catherine, who has run out of space. And so she's on the sort of pedestal bit at the bottom. Died 1887, aged 72. That one's still got a wooden frame round it. I wonder how old that is. Well, how old is the tombstone for a start? 1850, 1906, 1903. So yeah, that could be, I guess, 80 years old or 100 years old. That's pretty neat, a wee survivor. Right, let's keep going around here. We're just basically putting off the fact that we've got to go cycling all the way back up to the van. Quite an old stone propped up against the wall. It's can we see anything interesting? WC Heart BC, to the memory of somebody who departed life of February 16th, 18 something I think. So yeah, still not back in the 1700s, but that's a nice stone. And that's a nice view. That farmhouse over there is all like derelict, and it's just, it looks amazing. Anywhere else that would be fixed up and be an amazing big expensive house or group of houses, but no, here it's just sitting empty. And then through this doorway, part of the older church maybe, we're going into, oh, what's in that? There is a drowned at sea thing. That's a picture of a fish. That's a bit of wood. And that's Bex, who is looking for roses, because apparently Rosie is a name that's quite common here, so this graveyard will be full of various roses. Bex reckoned that the lichen is a bit creepy. I don't think she's liking it very much.
I feel it though, it's like seaweed. Lichen that hard, is it?
You know how we like a wee mason's mistake. Well, this is quite a recent stone, but it's at the bottom there. Also their son George, Thomas, and that used to say David. So they've changed it to James. Was he called David or was he called James? There you are, we can leave now because that is M Green and BM Heath, who blah blah blah, 1786. So that means there's one 1700 stone here, but there's literally, I haven't seen a single other one. That one over there looks quite old, but it's 1800s. That one over there, the same. So yeah, that is possibly the oldest stone in the graveyard, apart from all the big ones that have got no writing left on them. We're on our way back up the hill now, and thankfully the weather has improved and the mist has lifted. These islands are full of intriguing little buildings like this one. They're dotted about everywhere. Not quite sure what it is. It's derelict just now, it's not used, but I think that's an old schoolhouse or something. There's also a lot of outbuildings round the back, but you thought, is it somebody's house? But it's got massive windows. You didn't think you'd put windows that size on houses in Orkney. Be a bit drafty.
It would make an absolutely stunning house, wouldn't it?
Yeah, why is it not, do you think? I mean, it's just, is it an old school with two doors, boys and girls?
It's got 2 doors, yeah, it could be.
I don't know, it's pretty cool.
It's got a nice driveway though.
Absolutely. There's no traffic about, so we'll try cycling and filming at the same time, which can only end badly. But that's that building there, which is even more impressive slightly from this angle. And then behind it there's a wall, and then there's a house, and looks like outside toilets, that sort of slopey building there. Not sure, we'll have to go for a closer look, but that's really cool. But I bet I put the camera away before I fall off my bike, which would absolutely, definitely and 100% not be a good idea. I can't go past Bex going, whee! Hi Bex!
Hi!
I'm going to fall off a bike very soon. I'm an idiot, what can I say? I've stopped to put the camera away. Bex is going to keep going up that big hill. I'm quite liking the word summit. That must mean we're almost at the top of the big hill. An hour ago when we went on the way out, it was so thick fog you could hardly see the road, and now look at it. What a transformation, and what a beautiful part of the world. That's some of the outlying islands over there, and back over that way where I should have started is the Scottish mainland. So yeah, we're loving it. The weather has got so much better. But let's get back up the road for the dog. And this is definitely one of the highlights of the trip. The little post box is all sealed off because it's got nesting birds inside it, so post your letters somewhere else. It's not very often that Bex is the one to do an emergency stop when you see something interesting for sale, but she certainly did an emergency stop here. I think seeing that abandoned farm down the bottom of the hill might have planted a seed of moving house at some point in the future, hopefully the not too distant future, but this one is a bit too much of a fixer-upper, even for me. I'd like to get ripped in there with a DIY, but it looks a bit beyond salvation. And the good news is, behind me Bex is struggling up the last hill of the day. You don't get these in Methil. This is an honesty box where you take some produce and leave some money. Oh, and they've got eggs as well. Oh, how much is a half dozen hen eggs? It is £1.30, and duck eggs are 30p. I'm going to go and get some change and come back and buy some eggs, I think. We're in St Margaret's Hope because this is quite a famous place called Robertson's Coffee House and Bar. So let's have a look at the soup of the day, farmhouse cheese, black haggis and black pudding balls, crispy chicken wrap. Lots and lots of options, so we're going to get some dinner and we might even show you it before we eat it. Things have escalated somewhat. We came here for a coffee and then we saw the menu, so I might be having a burger and chips. Apparently in Orkney, if you ask for coffee and a scone, this is what you get. I mean, who knew? And we got back to the van and he said, DeNiro, do you want to come out? We're going to go and get something to eat. And he said, well, I said nothing because it's a dog. But he just basically looked at us and said, you've heard me doing zoomies twice, so you can photograph me. I'm staying here in case I have to run again. No, stop eating. I've got a mouthful of food, I forgot to film it again. There's our burger. If you don't know what a burger looks like, that is our burger. Are you impressed? I remembered to film it before I started eating it, apart from the 2 chips that I've had. And the chip thief over there has got the same. Well, that was an excellent little lunch, and now we've come down to this little beachy thing of sorts, which has got the house built into it, and Bex standing there looking very intimidating. And out there is Scapa Flow, and down here is lots of bits of really nice sea glass. Look at that. That's a nice colour, isn't it? Let's not do another beachcombing video, but yeah, This is a good beach to come to for sea glass. Right, let's head out. It's at Margaret's Hope and back up to that big beach. Here's an interesting story for you. The first time I came here, well, I think it's interesting, there was a ship's mast sticking out the beach just about here, and up there was like the top half of a ship, the superstructure of the bridge. And it turns out that during the war, before they built the barriers, they sank what they call block ships here, and they were to stop submarines getting in, not entirely successfully. And then when this beach built up, it built up round the block ships. So somewhere under those dunes there are there are like rusty old ships. And if you don't believe me about the block ships and think that sounds a bit far-fetched, well, here are some block ships a little bit further down the chain of islands. So yep, they are definitely there, and they are absolutely amazing, and I have wanted to be up here doing this since I got the drone. And here's some photos from a few years ago of the top bit of the ship sticking out through that beach we were just looking at, so you can imagine how much there is under the sand. This could easily turn into a really long and boring history blog. If I start to go on a bit, just tell me to shoosh. Over there, the other side of the causeway, is Scapa Flow, which was a major naval base during the wars, and there's lots of these little remnants left, these little sort of observation posts and bits that had magnetic booms coming out so they could detect submarines. It was all supposed to be very secure, and as I said before, they actually sunk ships in between the islands to stop submarines getting through, but it wasn't entirely successful. So they built a solid causeway. All the islands were linked up by concrete blocks. It's a major undertaking that was largely performed by Italian prisoners of war. If you look up above the thing we were just looking at, there's two more sort of concrete blockhouses up there, so that would have been quite a busy place during the war, and quite a nice thing to have in your garden today, I would think. Enough barriers and block ships and stuff for now. Let's go to Kirkwall and look for the charity shops. Now I want you to think of this very, very carefully. Do you want to go and look at an old prisoner of war camp, or do you want to go and look at charity shops?
Happy to do either, darling.
I think Bex just told a fib. Let's go to the charity shops. We have left the seaside and we've come up to Kirkwall, which is technically also on the seaside, but yeah, this is a nice view of a car park. But there's Bex, who's going to smile and wave. Smile and wave, Bex! And there's the supermarket we've just replenished before we head across on the next part of this adventure. If you're here in a camper van and you want to stay overnight, there is camper van parking there. Maximum stay 24 hours, and as you can see, it's a bit popular. You might not actually get a space. The big pointy building in front of us is St Magnus Cathedral. Shall we go up there for a wee look? I think you already know the answer to that one. That is the cathedral, but apparently we've got to go to the charity shops first and maybe find a wee cup of coffee and perhaps even a scone. There is a craft fair war happening. There's a craft fair that way, and there's a craft fair that way, and there is a car about to run me over. Oops. Oh wow, I really like that puffin. In fact, I like it so much I've got one at home that Bex bought me for my birthday. There are lots of puffins here. They do like the puffins on Orkney. Why are there Playmobil pirates in the main street? Because there are. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, charity shop. This used to be the electricity board shop. Thou God seest me. I don't know what seest means. Seest me. See me, I imagine. And some Urwilly and Bruns books. And some old Orkney stuff. I don't think we'll be buying any of that.
What about a nice Orkney t-shirt?
A nice Orkney t-shirt? How about a nice frock? Or classic bedtime stories? Let's go inside for a wee look. Oh, I might buy myself a nice top. It says £4 here, and that's about right. Oh, the record collection is all a bit upmarket. Tchaikovsky and 24 golden greats. How gold? Oh look! Slim Whitman. We've seen him before. This is a really nice wee charity shop. That's a nice bottle on it. A pound. Nothing is very expensive. Let the fun begin. We have been looking for Scrabble and failing to find it. We found this, which looks like a knockoff Scrabble, so we'll have that. That was crazy. The girl in there was trying to teach the guy in there about, he doesn't go online, he's more of a reader than an online person, and she was telling him about online websites and how to make money. And I started telling him about OnlyFans, which if you don't know what OnlyFans is, I recommend you don't go and look it up. I didn't know what it was till I now do. It's all been explained. Time to go to Cafe Laws for a coffee. This house is 17th century and it was a town hall and prison. But up here is Cafe Laws up this wee historic street. So obviously always in favour of going up a wee historic street. That is so nice. Oldie worldly buildings, sort of authentic. And that was given to the Orkney Island Council in 1979, so not actually that old. And it's cash only, and guess what we don't have any of? Cash. Okay, well let's go back down to the main street. That is a minute of your life you're never getting back. into the St Magnus Cafe for a coffee. We've been here before a lot of years ago. It was quite nice if we can get a table. I'm guessing possibly getting a table might be a problem. There is a game that they play here. It's called the Ba, and basically it is a massive fight trying to get a ball up to one end of the town or down to the other, the two teams, the uppies and the doonies. And it's amazing people don't get killed. The place basically gets trashed. It looks absolutely brilliant. It's a proper tourist attraction. There's a thing about it there. It goes back to the 12th century, and windows have been getting smashed ever since then. What better way to spend your Christmas than potentially ending up in intensive care? Fair play. So we've left the hubbub, the main bit of the town centre behind, and we're coming down to the other end. It's quite a nice wee place. I do like Orkney, and if you look at all the windows, they've all got these fixings here. That's so they can barricade themselves in when the Ba's happen, because windows do get smashed. And there's something we saw in Falkland down in Fife. That is a marriage lintel from 1743 when RMK married MM. And there's one from 1855 when WC married MB. And of course we found another wee charity shop, actually quite a big charity shop. It's like in Aladdin's cave. You go to one bit and then through another door, and yeah, it is really nice. I do like Kirkwall, as I may have mentioned. I do also love perusing the shelves of tat. Sometimes you get treasure, but most often the time it's just tat. Bex is in a wee element. She likes a charity shop that is eclectic. This is definitely eclectic. Are you found any treasure that you must buy yet, Rebecca?
Not yet. Iain?
Okay, I don't know why I called you Rebecca there. Rebecca. Oh. You don't need that book, you could write that book.
I couldn't, I can only make certain things.
Well, you start off making certain things and then you make more.
I want to make other things. I don't think there's much need for wheels on fire slippers though, do you? Do you want to put it in?
No thank you. So we both bought books in that charity shop, and the books that we bought highlight the difference between men and women, or more specifically between me and Bex. We'll show you them a bit later.
They're pretty stereotyped books.
Yeah, that's probably true as well. Okay, that's not a marriage lintel, but it's Soli Deo, Deo's God, Gloria, something to do with the glory of God, I imagine. There's a slightly better example. You saw the studs in the wall to mount the planks. Well, there's the planks still mounted, and that stops the windows getting smashed when the locals are playing with the ball. Apparently there was also a junior ball where obviously younger men had their shot and they had to stop it because it was too violent. Health and safety doesn't exist. Well, finally, after lots of charity shops and coffee and scones, we are going to go into St Magnus's, which I really like. So let's go and I'll show you around and make up the commentary as I go. If you're looking for an old gravestone, there, 1653, for the body of George Drummond of Bullenge Head, and Cleopatra. And this one says, here sleeps the pious and provident Catherine Craigie, formerly wife of Magnus Pottinger merchant. She died in 1612, I think that says. Well, actually, I don't. I'm reading it on that side. There are some really, really nice grave slabs in here. This is the corpse of Robert Ryken of the Clatter, merchant burgher of Kirkwall who died in 1679. And a bit of a biography at the bottom. This is so cool. And we'll take a wee dive across and show you the sort of vaulting and the galleries and stuff. It's a really, really impressive cathedral. And here resteth the corpse of a pious and virtuous woman, Margaret Henderson, spouse of David Forbes. What does that say? Notar, public notary, I guess. That's really cool. There's a whole lot of these down here, so I'll not bore you, and I don't like talking too much because it's quite a busy place. And you've seen the barriers, and the reason the barriers were built was because of this event. This is a memorial to the officers and men of HMS Royal Oak, where the ship was sunk in Scapa by the U-47 in 1939, and that was why the barriers were built, because old Gunter Preen got in through the block ships when they thought it was impossible. A lot more slabs up here, and this rather grand tomb beside the altar pit, and this is William Balfour Bakey, MD RN FRGS FBS FSA Scot, born in Kirkwall in 1825. And there's his biography. He was the explorer of the Niger and the Gada, the translator of the Bible into the languages of Central Africa, etc., etc. He devoted life, means and talents to make the heathen, savage and slave a free and Christian man. Not entirely politically correct these days. For Africa he opened new paths to light, wealth and liberty. So he says. I bet he made a few quid out of it as well. These places are always so grand. It's nice that they survived the Reformation when the Catholics were kicked out and the Protestants moved in. There's a man having a nap beside his big shotgun. This is the tomb of John Ray, MD, LLD, FRS, FRCS, Arctic Explorer. Scotland has got some nice cathedrals. St Giles in Edinburgh is probably the most well known, but this place is not far behind it in terms of just sheer sort of presence and impact. Mason's mistake, waiting their saviours, oh we can't fit the S in, call to judgment. Memento mori, remember you are going to die. I think I could probably spend all day in here just reading all these old gravestones, but that would be that would be not a great use of time because we are heading down to the ferry to get the boat across to Hoy. Oh wow, this is one of the most impressive ones that I think I've ever seen. It is in hope of blessed resurrection, here lie interred before this monument the bodies of Elizabeth Cuthbert, spouse to James Wallace, Minister of Kirkwall, and some of their children. Yeah, I didn't read that on the stone, I read that on the sign, but you probably guessed that. There's the words at the bottom, you want to have a go at it yourself. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this chap, but look at him, he's quite cool, except the sculptor couldn't do noses, he could only do triangles. But he's got an arrow and a pot and a turfing spade and hourglass and whatever that is. That might be sort of time flies. Or,
is it not a cherub?
It's like a cherub.
A
cherub in a gun though. He's going to shoot the cherub out. No, that can't be. Anyway, we don't know what that is, but we do quite like it. And that is us finished in St Magnus. We're now going to head for the ferry. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to show you something here that probably won't show up very well, but that looks like it's got holes drilled in it, maybe for flags or for maybe some sort of insert at some point. No idea, but the same over there. Bex is sticking her finger in that hole. Hope nothing bites her. It's all very sort of eroded sandstone, but it does look absolutely amazing. I was doing all that in front of that door and people were trying to get in, so here's a door that nobody is getting in. But yeah, you can see there's one pillar left, but there would originally have been 3 there and something else going on here. And around the top, alternating sort of red and white sandstone. This is so cool. And up there, some of the remaining carving that would have been on it, because over there it's just about all gone. Anyway, we're not going to the graveyard at all now. We're going to go and look over there. Bex, how many sighthounds have we seen? How many greyhounds and whippets have we seen in Kirkwall? Because there's another one. Promise you we'd show you the difference between the book that Bex bought and the books that I bought. So here you go. This is over to Bex.
I'm so excited. I found Sharon Welch's Knitted Toys. I don't know what year it was made, but let's have a look. The good thing is I got a bonus extra pattern, so I'm taking orders for Scotland on a Shoestring teddy bears with a variety of colours of scarf. Now look at that. That'll be upside down.
Yeah, I know.
I want you to know that I'll probably never make anything out of this book. I just love books like this.
Come on, let's see Andrew and Alice.
Andrew and Alice.
There's a whole backstory for Andrew and Alice.
Wait a minute, here's Andrew and Alice.
That was before Andrew started on the drugs.
You've just spoilt it now, you can't say that. So aren't Andrew and Alice amazing? They've got their school uniforms on. And then we've got a variety of clothes for Andrew and Alice. It gets better.
It can't get much worse.
Here's Andrew in his wildlife jumper. I love Andrew's hair. And wait till you see Alice in her pinafore. And the best bit is Alice in a duffel coat with Wotsits as buttons. Wotsits are crisps, by the way, cheesy puffs. And there's Alice and Andrew's baby. And then this page is a little bit disturbing, and I don't think you'd get away with this now because this is the Roly Poly family. Roly Poly Ma and Pa and the Roly Poly kids all eating cake.
Yeah. Look at those fat people. And while Bex has got Alice and the Roly-Poly family, I've got Island of Guilt and Ring of Steel. There was a big pile of these little magazines in one of the charity shops, and I thought they're absolutely brilliant. I used to buy these as a kid, and the lady was saying, the man was in yesterday and bought loads. He was so excited. It's like, yeah, that's because if you get them in good condition, and the rare ones are worth quite a lot of money. So all the good ones have gone, but I am actually just going to sit and read these. And that's it for this wee episode. We're off to catch a ferry to Hawaii, and if you guys want to see what happens over there, you'll have to watch again next week. So like, subscribe and all that gubbins, and we'll see you then for more.
Bye!